so let's just go out of the room. So this is the main reception area of the college. So the visitors to the college will come through this particular door here, and they'll be greeted by our reception area, which is on the ground floor. Now, the offices of the college are all on the ground floor. So you can see we've got an administration office and an accounts office there. And we also have a full-time college nurse whose name is Mandy, who's giving us a wave now. Hello. So Mandy looks after all the students if they're not feeling very well. And as part of the induction, we always have a little form that they fill in about their medical history. And Mandy will have a chat to the students and to talk about any sort of issues they've maybe had in the past. She also helps with doctors' registrations. And at the moment, of course, with the COVID pandemic still around in the UK, she sort of assists with booking students in for COVID, for vaccinations and that sort of thing. Okay, so Mandy works full-time and is a very good asset to the college, as we can see. The room down there is the international operations, which is where Mark, who will be speaking to you a little bit later, sits, along with Shirley, who you can just see, I think, through the door, who's actually conducting a visa appointment meeting, as we can sort of see. And there are more offices around here, including the principal's office, and this is student services as well, where we have quite a lot of local students, and this is where we look after them. The gentleman sitting here is Chris Randall, who is Hello. Going to be the principal of the college, taking over from Liz Elam in a few weeks' time. So he will be getting promoted from that desk to this particular office here, which is where the principal sort of is. Okay, so that's basically the ground floor, which, as I mentioned, involves where all the offices and that sort of thing are. So if I go into the kind of main college now, you can see through this door. And this is the student entrance, which is where the students come in every day. So what I'll do is I will actually go out of the college and show you the college from the outside. It's a very cloudy day in Manchester today and a little bit cold. But if I just go over on the other side of the road, you can actually see the college. So I hope you can see that all right. College is there. We are on 5 floors, as I mentioned before, and that's the entrance that I've just come out. So the college is very centrally located, although we're on a bit of a side street. If you go that way, that leads to the main sort of town hall area where Manchester Reference Libraries and so on. And if you walk the other way past that building there, that's where the main shopping centre is, and of course where the boarding house is as well. So what we'll do is I'll wait till this van goes across. So if I go back into the college building, the college gets, the students get a card which they place on this keypad, which I will do now. The door will beep, the door opens, and hello gentlemen, and then this is 5th floor, except when we go down to the basement, which means we actually go down to the basement this way, which is the learning centre. Now, this is where I might lose my connection. If I lose my connection, I will come back up and I will just tell you what happens in the learning centre. So if I just go through and see if we lose connection. So we're going down to the basement area here. We won't talk, I will just sort of take you through the actual room itself. It runs the full length of the college, and as I say, it's where students come if they have a free period, or at break time and lunchtime they can come and sort of relax and chill out. It's supervised at all times, so it should be sort of perfectly quiet when we go in, which is why I won't talk when we go in. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the door now and just show you the basement area. Very quiet. And through this room here is a computer room as well. So students generally bring their own laptops with them, but if they don't, they can use one of the college computers to get access to the internet and to do their research for their homework and that sort of thing. Which indicates the direction that people come down the stairwell. So you can see there's an arrow there. So these are the back stairwells, so these are the downstairs, except when you're coming up from the basement. Okay, so when you come up from the basement, you have to then go through reception if you want to get to the other floors of the college. So I am back in the reception area now, and I shall go through this other security gate. So the students leave the building by this door, which is the same entrance as the visitors come in. So they leave from that door and they actually come in the student door. So now we're retracing our steps back to the student entrance. You know which students are in the building and then which students leave the building, because it records on our system as a safety issue, as a security issue. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to go up the stairs and we're going to go through each floor by turn. So we'll, first of all, we'll probably go on the first floor and then just work up and then just come all the way down the stairs back from the 5th floor. So this is the 1st floor. Before we go on any of the floors, there is a hand sanitizer before you go in. So students can use that. And then we go through the doors here. And each corridor, each floor is set out in the same way. It's just a long corridor with classrooms on either side. So unfortunately, there are quite a few classrooms that are full at the moment, so I can't go in. So if we go through that door, that leads again back to the back stairwells, which is where you go down. This gives you an idea of the kinds of students that we have in the college. So these are some students from last year, and it just shows you the kind of mix of the students that we've got. So we have students from the UK, about 35% of our students are from the UK, 65% are from overseas, covering all sorts of different areas, different parts of Asia, Europe, Africa, Russia, Kazakhstan, different parts of Europe, and we've even got 1 or 2 students from America as well. So unfortunately, we can't go in any of the classrooms because they're all full. But if I just look through the door here, you can see a class in operation sort of there. So hopefully, when we go onto some of the other floors, we will be able to see an empty classroom. So if we just go up to the 2nd floor to see if we have any more luck. You can see on the stairwells, we've got work which has been done by our photography and art students. And as you can see, some of these are displayed on the main stairwell to show off the talents of the students. This is floor 2. And we also have case studies dotted around college students that have done done very well here. So this lady, Shamika, was here. She did very well in her A levels and went off to do engineering at the University of Sheffield. So this is the 2nd floor, again with a hand sanitizer unit before you go in. If we go on the 2nd floor, you'll see exactly the same type of corridor as we had on the 1st floor. And we'll see if we can see if we've got a spare classroom here that we can go into. Okay. So this is a classroom that seems to be empty at the moment. This is one of our smaller classrooms. This can take between 6 and 8 students in. It's actually a language classroom because we do offer French as one of the languages. It's quite a small room. Most of our classrooms can take up to about 12 students, and we don't have a maximum class size of any more than 12. This room, as I mentioned, is one of the smaller ones, and you can sort of see that it is quite small. But it means that with small class sizes, there's a lot of interaction between the students and the parents, students and the teachers, and the quality of the teaching is really, really good because of that, because of the small class situation. The teachers get to know their students really, really well, which is very, very important. If we go back down the corridor, unfortunately, we can't go into those classrooms. The second floor, we usually have things like maths and religious studies takes place on the second floor as well. So, but again, most of these rooms are taken, so unfortunately we can't go in. Anyway, if we carry on up the stairs. Psychology, business and economics and these sorts of subjects. So let's go on to the corridor here. And again, it's the same sort of layout, the same sort of corridor with the classrooms off either side. So if we just go. We're not having much luck with classrooms, I'm afraid, because all the classrooms are busy. I can't get into any of them, unfortunately. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more luck as we go sort of further up the stairs. And again, as you can see, still on the walls, we've got the artwork and the photography work. We're going up to the 4th floor now. 4th floor, which is where the art and photography rooms are, as well as the IELTS classrooms, because most of the international students who arrive need some sort of IELTS alongside their A-levels. So if we can go along the corridor to see if we can go into one of these rooms. This is an IELTS class taking place at the moment. The students. So you can see the teacher there. And this is the photography room. Let me see if we can just quickly go on. And we've got the art room here, and we've got an empty room. So this is the art room, which is empty at the moment. As you can see, one of my favorite rooms of the college because it's very, very sort of visual and very sort of attractive to look at and come into. So this is the art room. And just behind the door here is our dark room, which is where students can develop pictures for their photography, which is in the room across the corridor. If you do art and photography, you're able to go on a trip each year, although we haven't done them for the last couple of years because of the coronavirus pandemic. But they usually go to one of the major cities in Europe for 3 or 4 days over one of the half terms to take lots of photographs and do lots of drawings and that sort of thing. And it's a great trip for the students. So I think the last one they did was a couple of years ago to Valencia in Spain. Okay, so if we walk back down here, you see that on most of the floors that we've been on, there are lockers, so the students can actually get a locker to keep their belongings in all during the time in the college, so they don't have to transport their books and that sort of thing all over the place. Hello. Okay. If we now go on to the 5th floor, which is where most of the laboratories are, we do physics, chemistry, and biology, both as GCSE and A levels, and of course as part of International Foundation Pathways. So this is the 5th floor, we're right at the very top of the college now. So if we go through the door, we have 5 laboratories. There is one laboratory downstairs on the 1st floor that was busy that we couldn't get into. This is another general science laboratory where they can do any of the 3 sciences. You can see it's kind of full if you can just see through the door there. Okay. And then we have 3 specific laboratories, one for physics, one for chemistry, one for biology. And it looks like the chemistry laboratory is free. So this is the chemistry laboratory. If I just switch the light on, you can see this, as you can see, quite small compared to the laboratories in most colleges. 12 students, no more than 12 students again in the class. And you can see the students are located very, very close to the teacher as well. And the thing about small classes is that it improves the confidence of students. You can't hide at the back of the classroom like you can in many sort of schools and colleges in the UK and across the world. So it's very interactive. So it improves students' confidence and communication skills and that sort of thing, which is really, really good. And as you can see, most of the classrooms have a plasma TV screen and the traditional whiteboard, and then it depends on their method of teaching. Some teachers are more kind of information technology savvy and prefer to use kind of presentations on the television screen. Some of them are more traditional, particularly the maths department, where they're trying to do formulas and that sort of thing, and they will do the whiteboard. But we've got both sort of types of teaching method in most of the classrooms that we have. Okay, so, and then we have two more laboratories right down here. The biology laboratory, as you can just sort of see through the door, there's a class taking place there, and the physics laboratory as well. So basically there are 3 specific laboratories for each science, and then 2 general laboratories where they can have any of the sciences in. Okay, so that is the 5th floor. Now on the one-way system, it means we have to go downstairs through the back stairwell. So this is because of coronavirus, of course. We've decided to have a one-way system around the college, which I think is very, very sensible. So the corridors have clearly got to be 2-way, but we have a back stairwell that goes down the building that students and teachers have to follow. And you can see the arrow on the floor there. This is the back stairwell. It's not as nice as the front stairwell because of the fire escape until the coronavirus pandemic started. So we've now just converted it into the downstairs for students to use. Okay, certainly during the pandemic, and maybe beyond, because it does sort of help congestion, to be honest. And as you can see, through every floor, there's the hand sanitizing units as well. I don't know whether you saw in the 2 or 3 classrooms that we were in, that the desks are still slightly sort of distanced out to allow for social distancing. As it is in many, many countries. So we go down the stairs, we're now down onto the 1st floor, and we will come down to the final floor here, which is where the ground floor is. So if you remember, when we came up from the basement, we came up this way, which this gentleman here called Chris has just demonstrated. So we came up from the basement that way, and thank you very much. And now we're just back into the main reception area, which is where we actually started from. If I just put my badge on, if I was going out of the college, as I mentioned, we would go out that way. So, and now I am back where we started from, and I hope that has given you a little bit of a taste of the college. Unfortunately, there was only 1 or 2 classrooms that we could go in because the other classrooms were taken, which I suppose is a sign of a very successful college. At the moment, we have around about 190 students. We have about 15 or 16, I think, starting in January as well. So we're going to be up around about 205, 206 students. And our capacity is around about 215 to 220. So we're getting close to where we were pre-COVID, which is really, really sort of good as far as the college is concerned. Okay, right, that's it from me. So if I want to pass on to Mark at the boarding house, and then I can come back at the end if there's any questions that need answering. Okay, if I want to hand over to Mark now. Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Sorry, 1 second. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Sorry, apologies.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. I'm Mark from Abbey College, Manchester, and I'm outside Clydesdale House, which is our boarding house. I'm joined by our head of boarding, who's behind the camera.
Hello.
And I'm just going to show you around the boarding house, tell you a bit about our accommodation options. So hope you can hear me all right, because we're outside. We just face up this way first. You can see this is how close we are to the shopping centre in the centre of Manchester. So we're in a very convenient location. And going that way, about 5 to 10 minute walk is the college. Okay, so we're going to go inside the building now. So every student will get a fob. So this fob gets you in the front of the building, through reception, onto your floor, and then you'll get a key to get into your bedroom. So it's really safe. Nobody can get in who has not got one of these fobs, and you can only get onto the floor that you live on. So if you live on the 3rd floor, you can't get onto the 2nd or 4th floor. So only people who live in your section of the building can get into your bit. So we're in the reception of Clydesdale House now. Everybody gets a post box. So if you have any packages being delivered or any mail, they'll get put in there. If you have any large parcels delivered, there's a box at the end which they get delivered into as well. So you shouldn't miss any Amazon deliveries. In here is the common room. So there is a common room on every floor as well, but this is a common room for the building. So anyone who lives in the building can use this area. We have a TV, so if you wanted to bring a laptop or a games console down, you can plug that into the TV there. And we have table tennis, and our house parents organise lots of activities down here as well. So they do stuff like charades, table tennis tournaments, they'll have film nights. Any ideas that you have as well, if when you join the college, our house parents are quite happy to make it happen. Okay, through this door, I'm not going to show you, but there's a bike store. So if you wanted to bring your bike, you can store it in there. So you've got safe bike storage as well. And in this room is the laundry room. So we have 8 machines. So there's 4 washers and 4 dryers. Doesn't sound like a lot, but there's always one spare. As you can see, there's only 2 in use at the moment. So, and it's all free. You don't need to pay for it up. Okay. So if we go back through this door, this will take us back into reception. And again, using the fob, so nobody can get beyond this part of the building without a fob. Okay, we're going to go in the lift. We're going to go up to the 3rd floor. We may lose signal, but if we do, I'll be back with you as soon as we can. Okay? Okay, I hope you're all still with us. So here we've got our notice board. So there's a notice board on every floor, and it gives you an idea of the kind of things that are going on each week. So today's Wednesday, so tonight there's a ping pong tournament on the ground floor. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so our chef Esther, she makes lots of food for various cultural events. So recently we had Nigerian Independence Day, so she made lots of Nigerian food. So obviously doing Thanksgiving and whatever's going on. Halloween, she made Halloween cakes and all sorts. So Friday we've got a film night. Saturday they're going out to do an escape room. And Sunday's an art and crafts night. So there's something happening every night to keep you entertained. Okay, and here we have our menu. So we have various options. So it's a 3-week cycle. So again, I don't know what week we're on. But Wednesday, so tonight will be Mexican beef tacos, which sound amazing. Thursday, meatballs. So we have a variety of food every day. And obviously, if there's stuff like Thanksgiving or Nigerian Independence Day, that would supersede what it says on there. And here there's some more activities. So it just gives the students some ideas of where they can go. So if they want to go to the Trafford Centre, to John Ryland's library, the food market. We've put lots of information up there so the students can make their own way to various events. Okay. So the first kitchen I'm going to show you is our chef's kitchen. So this kitchen isn't used by the students, but it's very similar to the kitchen the students do use. So our chef Esther, she'll cook food every night. The students come down here with the plate, the knife and fork, and they'll collect some food. They can come back for seconds if there's plenty left over. And they also have lots of desserts and yogurts and crisps and stuff for them to eat. So this is our chef's kitchen. So we'll run up to the briskly walk up to the 4th floor now. And we'll show you a kitchen that the students live in, and we'll show you 3 different bedrooms. We do have a premium bedroom, a deluxe bedroom, and a standard bedroom. So we can show you one of each of them, and then we can show you a kitchen that the students live in as well. Okay. So the first room is a deluxe room. Premium room. Sorry, yeah. So all the rooms have the same facilities. So every room has an ensuite bathroom, 3/4 size bed, desk, and but in the premium rooms like this, they also have the sexual section here. So sort of like a little living space. And an ensuite bathroom room here. So toilet, sink, and shower. So the only real difference between the rooms is the size, but as you can see, the premium rooms are nearly double the size of the standard room, which we'll show you next. And then we'll show you the deluxe room, which is somewhere in the middle of the two. So this is a standard room. So again, even though it's the smallest room size that we do, it is a real good size, plenty of space. We do provide bedding as well, but the students obviously chosen to get our own bedding, which is really nice. And they also have a wardrobe, desk, chair, storage space for their belongings, and then as well, they've got their own bathroom here as well. Okay. And the last room we'll show you is a deluxe room. So that's somewhere between the premium room and the standard room size. The good thing with the deluxe rooms is you do get the windows around both sides of the building, so you get a much better view out of the windows. If you look out of the window this way, this building here, this one is Manchester Arndale, and that is the shopping centre. So we are literally a 30-second walk away from the main shopping area in Manchester. Okay, so I'll show you a kitchen, which our students are currently using. Oh. But before we show you the kitchen, we'll show you a common room. So there is a common room on the ground floor, which we've shown you already, but there's also one on every floor of the building as well. So you can use this one as sort of a private space, and then there's the more open communal space on the ground floor. When the students come and collect the food from Esther as well, they can either eat in the bedrooms, or they can come up here and eat together in their communal space. Okay. And so this is a kitchen that the students have for themselves. So we provide all the stuff for the breakfast. So we provide cereals, croissants, toast, jam, milk, obviously. So they can make their own breakfast. For lunch, we provide them a packed lunch every day, including weekends. And the evening meals, as I mentioned before, is provided by Esther. So it's all cooked, but we also then provide them snacks. So we've got cereal bars here, crisps, whatever you want. Anything you want. Again, we've got a partnership with a food delivery company. So anything the students request, we can usually sort of provide within reason. No lobsters or caviar, but and again in here, you know, some students will go and pick up their own bits of shopping, so they'll pick up their own fruit and veg if they want to, you know, make themselves a snack as well. And then last place is the house parents office. So we have house parents on site 24/7. So we've always got somebody here. We do have a duty phone, so if there's ever any problems, you can call the house parents, but they can usually be found in the office. Which is through here. So again, any problems, come and you can call the house parents, or you can just come and see them here. And that's where we sort of end it all. So if you have any questions, you can pass them on now, and I can hand back to Tori and John.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ian. Can I just confirm that you guys can hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent. Sorry about the audio difficulties at the start. Please do post any questions that you might have for Ian and Mark about any element of the college or the boarding. We have had a couple that have come through both before and during the session. Probably the first one is a little bit for Ian, and maybe Mark can jump in as well. The question was just around in terms of when is the best time to apply for the college. I presume we're talking about a student who's interested to join us in September of next year. And then also are rooms, how are rooms confirmed, and does every student have a room allocated in terms of within the boarding? So there's two things I think quite linked, so I'll probably pass on to Ian first and you guys can deal with that.
Yeah, well, in terms of applications, really applications are accepted anytime at all. So we are taking applications now for September. I mean, I've done several interviews over the last week or so. And so applications can be made kind of now, really. In terms of applying for a visa, that can only be done clear, I think it's now 6 months before the course starts. But certainly the earlier you can make an application, the more guarantee you will have of getting a room, because there is a finite number of rooms that we have in Clydesdale House. I mean, currently it's, oh gosh, is it 54, is it, Mark? Is that the number of rooms we have at the moment? Is it 54?
Yeah, 54 available. 53, sorry.
53, okay, so we have 53 rooms available, and at the moment they are all full. So if you want to be guaranteed a room in the boarding house, really you would have to apply probably kind of May, June, July, possibly at the outside. But rooms do go. It's very, very popular, as you can see from Mark's tour. It's a very, very nice building as well. And it's not like our sister colleges at Cambridge and DLD, who have a lot more rooms than us. We are very small. As I mentioned in my piece, we have a capacity of 215 students. So we have about 54 boarding places in Clydesdale House. There's a possibility we'll be taking the rest of the building over in September next year, although that's not been confirmed yet. But if that's the case, it will release another 20 rooms. So we'd go up to around about 73. But so in terms of applications, as early as possible, really. If you do leave it late, then there is no guarantee that you will get a room. We do have host family as an alternative to the boarding house, but certainly students who are 16 years old and over prefer kind of the more independence and the more kind of adult living, I suppose, that the boarding house can provide.
Thank you, Ian. So get your application in nice and early to avoid disappointment, I think is the message there. We've just had one question about, I think, what students do outside of their lessons. So I guess this kind of is kind of around extracurricular experiences, both with the school and in Manchester. So what kind of things do the students get up to outside of lessons?
Well, in terms of enrichment, I mean, enrichment here at the college is on a Wednesday afternoon. So generally there are no classes on a Wednesday afternoon, and the students can kind of choose to do an activity. Clearly, because we're quite small, there's a more limited range of activities that we can offer that sort of other larger schools and colleges can offer. We offer sports such as football, basketball, badminton, table tennis. As you could see on my tour, we don't have any football pitches or any leisure facilities, so to speak. So that's all conducted outside the college. So a bus or taxis would come to collect the students and take them to the kind of the sports facilities. In terms of non-sports things, we offer kind of art and photography. We have a music club. There's a film club. There has been a debating club as well. There's a creative writing club. There is yoga for students who want to do that. For students who are wanting to do medical applications, there's a medical preparation enrichment session every Wednesday afternoon as well. So there are quite a lot of different activities that the students can do as part of sort of enrichment. Outside the college themselves, I mean, Mark was saying at the boarding house, there's lots of activities that they will get up to or get invited to the students. If students are with a host family, the host family might take them out on trips around Manchester and that sort of thing, to museums or what have you. I mean, the students are free to come and go from the boarding house in the evening, providing they're back by curfew, and also at weekends, again, providing they're back by curfew time. And really, there are plenty of things for them to get up to in Manchester. There's a library, which is the biggest library just outside London, Manchester Reference Library, that's about 5 minutes walk from the college. There's Chinatown for people who want to go and experience that. There are shops, there are museums, there are galleries, there are movie theatres. Of course, Manchester's very popular with sports, with Manchester City and Manchester United. So there's plenty of opportunities to do kind of whatever leisure activities that you would like to do, really. Is that okay, John?
Thank you, Ian. That's great. I'm just checking to see if we've got any more questions. Please do post any if you have any. I think as well, you know, one of the good things that always strikes me about Manchester is the scenery and the kind of nature that you have around the city as well. So there's lots of opportunities to get out into some beautiful countryside as well. So I think that's a big bonus.
Did I see a question, John, about picking the right school for your child?
Let me just have a little look. Oh yes, sorry, I missed that one. Yeah, that came with the one about the pastimes. How do students pick the best school for their child? I think things like what we're doing today probably help a little bit, but if you wanted to give some tips in terms of what they should look for, that would be great.
Well, I mean, the education of a child is extremely important, and certainly for international parents, if they're sending their child halfway across the world, that they've got to make the right decision. We offer a very kind of different experience to many other schools. Many other schools are very, very traditional, sort of more traditional boarding schools than we are, and it really depends on what the needs of your particular child are, really, because and so my advice would be to do the research, to kind of pick 2 or 3, to look at the websites, to go on events like this, to go on any activity that they do on YouTube and that sort of thing. Maybe if you know somebody who's been to the school before, sort of have chats with them and that sort of thing. I mean, as I've mentioned before, we offer a very different experience, and what we try and do is provide a university style environment. And I always try and explain this by the use of 2 pencils. Whenever I'm interviewing a student, I always go through this example with them, because the university is over here and most schools are over here. So when you leave a traditional boarding school and you go to university, the environment is so different, and it's quite hard to transfer from that environment where everything is done for you pretty much, to a university environment where nothing is done for you and you're left on your own. What we try and do at Abbey College is we're in the middle here. We have some rules and regulations, of course we have to, or else, you know, there'd be sort of chaos really. But we also sort of provide an environment that allows you to transfer quite easily to university. The environment is very similar here to what you would meet at university. There is no uniform here, for example. Most schools have a uniform. You call the teachers by their first name. At most schools, you call them by Mr. or Mrs. or Sir or what have you. We call our students students. Most schools call them pupils. You're called a student at university, which is why we call our students students. So when you actually leave us and go to university, the switch in environment is much easier. So that's what we try and provide. And we offer a very different environment to the traditional boarding school, but we hope that suits the needs of most children out there, I hope.
Thank you, Ian. That's a great way of summing it up. I've put my camera on, daring to put it on. Hopefully it doesn't destroy the audio. I think one thing I would also add to that is in terms of think about how the school you're looking at kind of supports international students as well. I mean, it's something obviously in Manchester that we're very well versed in. So what's the level of English support? How do they help students settle into the culture? And what's the general level of support for international students that the school provides? I think is something to look at if you're looking at coming to study into the UK from outside. I think,
and also, John, sorry to interrupt, and also it's the university support, because we're quite small. We offer very individualized support for university applications. I mean, our teachers are excellent at providing that good advice, and vast majority of our students get to their first choice university doing their first choice course. So I think the actual university support and help is very, very good here compared to what it is at many schools, simply because we have small enough numbers to give everybody that individual service.
Thanks, Ian. Very good point. I think that's kind of all the questions we've had. So thank you. Thanks, Mr. K. Valentina. Absolutely happy to help. So I think what we'll do is we'll let you guys say goodbye and we'll sign off.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Have a good day.